Geekazine and Geek Smack is a proud member of the Tech Podcast Network over at techpodcast.com. If it's tech, then it's here.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, Jeffrey Powers here. Welcome to the show we call Geek Smack, the show where we smack the geek out of you, like, the history of Lego, maybe. We got a lot of great stories. We got a lot of stuff that we're going to get to you, and including, of course, we're going to be talking about what happened last Thursday, and, of course, how James Holmes got a whole bunch of stuff online. Not guns. Just wanted to kind of clarify that. I don't think he got guns online. But anyway, we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about a whole bunch of more stuff, including Apple, Mountain Lion coming, and, of course, the big lawsuit between Samsung and Apple, and a whole bunch more. So let's get you started. Of course, we're brought to you by our friends over at Wirecast. Learn how to record and do all the switching, put lower thirds like this on and stuff like that, by going over to geekazine.com/WirecastPC or Wirecast Mac, depending on which version you own. Let's get started with the show. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, we're on take 2 on this episode. I'm going to tell you something. If you've got a camera and you decide to do the autofocus, which I've found that it seems, no matter how much I manually set the focus, it just always seems to go out of focus. So I set the autofocus, but apparently there was some dust on the lens, and it kept trying to focus in and out on the dust, and it's like, wow, so that's a major problem with something like that, but, you know, something you want to watch out if you're going to record video. But nonetheless, we're going to smack the geek out of you, like, Canon EOS, mirrorless, awesome, whole ton of stuff that we're going to talk about on the news side, on the geek side, and stuff like that. You know, it's been a quiet week, but it's been a cooler week. We did have a couple close to 100-degree weather days. I think we did hit 100 last week. But then it cooled down. We got some rain finally. And I looked outside my window last night, just thunderstorms all last night. And then I look outside my window this morning, and the grass is green, which is weird. It's like, holy Moses, green grass? Can that happen? Are we in a Tom Green song? The Green Green Grass of Home? I think that's a Tom Green song. No, that might be wrong. Tom Green's an actor. I'm insane. So anyway, it's slowly turning into a more palatable summer for all of us here at Geekazine, and we like green summers because then we can run with our bare feet in the grass and have a lot of fun with it. So it also may mean I have to start mowing again, which I don't really want to do too much. So hey, you know, last week I started a new website called How to Record Podcasts over at www.howtorecordpodcasts. I actually registered 2 domain names. Record a podcast, how to record a podcast, and howtorecordpodcasts.com. You can check it out there. We got a bunch of writers. They're going to be starting this week. They're going to be writing about podcasting and from anywhere from newbie to advanced level podcasting. So, and video casting, lighting, sound, and stuff like that. I can't wait because I still always have problems figuring out lighting and stuff like that. So we got a lot of great stuff coming, so check it out over at howtorecordpodcast.com. And once again, we do have your other opportunity to win a Roku 2 XS in this week's the contest. You got 5 chances to win the Roku 2 XS. So we're going to talk about that later. I'm not going to tell you now. I will say that it is a Roku 2 XS that you're going to win. So we're going to do that, and of course, we're going to announce the winner next week. So you need to have your entries in by Friday. Friday. I might take them if you do it over the weekend, but for the most part, Friday. That's when you need to do it. So, anyway, ladies and gentlemen, I've talked enough. Let's get into your Tech Smack for today.
Tech Smack.
And as you can see, if you're watching the video version, you can't hear because if you're listening to the audio version. But as you can see, we have that little bar down there. That means our friends over at Citrix and GoToMeeting are back on the sponsor board with us. I love Citrix and GoToMeeting. It's the only way to meet online, period. I'm going to say it. But anyway, you know, summer is here. It's greener. It's better. And you might have been like, oh, it's 100 degrees. I'm not going to go to work today. I'm going to call in sick. Or it's raining and I got a flooded basement. I got to stay at home. So, so vacations, summer days, everybody's on a different schedule. It just works that way. So meeting with all your clients and colleagues, close to impossible, in person, just can't do it. That's why I recommend Citrix and GoToMeeting with HD faces. You don't even need to be in the same city. You can have clients and colleagues outside the city, outside the state, outside the country, for that matter. And you can meet with them face to face, and no matter where you are. And that's the coolest thing about this. Now, here's how it works. GoToMeeting by Citrix takes a webcam and click to continue an HD video. You can even join in on an iPad and be part of it. So if you're sitting on a beach and you got Wi-Fi access and, I got a 2 o'clock meeting, pull out the iPad, poof, go do a GoToMeeting session, just have to download the app. You can see your attendees eye to eye with collaborating on thousands of documents, millions of documents, and get the meeting done instead of an email. Now, that's the worst part, is an email, because emails always seem to be, hey, we need to look at this. Reply back. Okay, what do you want to know? Reply back. Well, what about Article 1? Reply back. I don't know. What about Article 1? It just doesn't work. So you just got to get onto a meeting program like GoToMeeting with HD faces to get that going. Here's how we're going to do it. My listeners and my viewers, you got this opportunity, 30 days for free, and do all the business you need. See the power of GoToMeeting with HD faces. 30 days for free. For this special offer, go over to GoToMeeting.com. Here, let me show you how it works. You go over to GoToMeeting.com, and then you click that Try It Free Now button. That's an orange button. And then, of course, you see this little thing, this little promo code right here. And you enter in promo code PODCAST, PODCAST. And that's going to get you 30 days of this great software. And, of course, it helps Geekazine keep the lights on. So I thank you very much. And, of course, that's over at GoToMeeting.com. Remember the code PODCAST. All right, let's get into your Tech Smack for today. First of all, we're over at digitaltrends.com. And they're talking about prepping for macOS. 10 days away, 10 days. And you might have Mountain Lion on your Mac. Of course, if you don't have a Mac, then it's kind of pointless. But if you do have a Mac, then you want to get it prepared. Biggest thing, backing up your Mac. And there's many different ways to do that. That's what this article is all about, prepping your Mac for Mountain Lion. You don't need a time machine if you don't have it. If you have an external drive, you can actually port your copy, your video, everything that you have on this machine, or not this machine, but your machine, onto your hard drive. And that way, if you have any problems, you can revert back to the old copy, which is pretty cool, because then you don't have to reload this program and that program, so on and so forth. But anyway, you want to check out more on this, read the whole article. That's over at digitaltrends.com. All right, moving from there, Gizmodo, Windows 8 Store, is going to be offering 7-day trials of their paid apps. Of course, Microsoft unveiled everything that was going on with the Windows Store, and they're talking about how you can basically get all the apps from the Windows Store. It's not going to be 99-cent apps, unfortunately. It'll be $1.49 for the apps, and I think you get they do the same 30%, 70% royalty split with the app developers. But the cool thing about this is apparently it's all about that coding. And there's a lot of Windows programmers that can now write for Windows 8 and Windows 8 mobile devices. So they're really expecting that to ramp up. So, the app that you buy for your desktop will be the same app that you buy for your tablet. And that's pretty cool there. There's a lot of good and bad on that. You can check this all out. It's over at gizmodo.com. Moving on from there, we're going over to cnet.com. And for some reason, my computer's running just a touch bit slow. I'm going to have to figure that out. Hold on a second. All right, Apple and Samsung. Of course, you've probably heard about this. Apple, now that they won, they just came out and they said, hey, we're just gonna go for a $2.5 billion lawsuit in damages. Now, there were like 19 patents, if I remember correctly, on this for Samsung, and it could really affect Samsung to the point that I don't know, could they get out of the market? Will they survive this big blow? Or will they be able to actually start selling their tablets and other touchscreen devices in the United States again? So one of the patents covers things like scrolling API technology, tap to zoom to navigate, and a lot of small stuff too, which I'm not really a big fan of. You know, how to close a lid on a laptop. I got a patent for that. How to push how to have a power button. I have a patent on that. You know, little things like that. It's just kind of how to unlock a screen. That's silly. Those are silly patents, and they should go away. But hey, Apple's going aggressively for Samsung, and once they're done, I have a feeling once they're done, they're going to be going after some other major players in the game. Not to say that Samsung wasn't a major player, but you got the Kindle Fire, you've got the Nook, you got the Windows 8 tablet coming out, you've got the Nexus 7, so on and so forth. So I don't know. We'll see what happens. But what do you think? Do you think that Apple's doing the right thing? Do you think that they're owed $2.5 billion in damages? Let me know. You can Twitter me at Geekazine. Of course, geekazine@gmail.com. And then, of course, the hotline is 608-205-4378. All right, moving from there, we're going to stick on CNET. We're going to talk about YouTube and how they're actually changing their thing with the usernames. And basically, they're saying, hey, when you start to comment, it's say, hey, why don't you use your real name instead of your YouTube name? Now, my YouTube name is Geekazine. I changed that about a year ago because the previous YouTube name was long story, but the whole point is it wasn't fitting for Geekazine, so I switched it over to Geekazine, and the whole idea was to get on their partner program, which never really happened, which I was really frustrated about. Even though I've jumped up my subscriber count 10 times with that iPad 365 show. It's sometimes it's really frustrating with YouTube. I mean, just last week, the Dark Knight Rises video that I did, I set it up for RevShare, and they said no, because I think it's because of the fact that I put up a Batman poster up here, and which I just wanted to get people in the spirit. And they said, no, you can't do RevShare on that. And so I disputed it, and it just sits there. And I've got videos that have been sitting there for months waiting to get a final word on. And some videos that had absolutely nothing in them that would be discerning as issues with copyright. And it just sits there. It's like, no, we'll get to it when we get to it. In the meantime, I had one video get a couple thousand views. Got no rev on that. But what do? I mean, there are some videos that get a few thousand views, and I do get a lot of money off of that. Or I get money off of that, not a lot of money. So, I don't know. It's a back and forth thing, and I still have to fight them back and forth. But will I use my real name? No, because this is the Geekazine channel on YouTube. This is not the Jeffrey Powers channel on YouTube. I understand where they're going with it, but to me, it doesn't make sense. I do have a Geekazine page, so I will link it to the Google Plus Geekazine page, if that helps. I don't know. What do you think? Let me know. Geekazine is my Twitter handle, and geekazine@gmail.com, of course, is the email address. All right, moving from there, because I spent way too much time on there. Toshiba is in dire straits now. Apparently they're on their 3-year low on chip production cuts. And, of course, they make a lot of memory. The memory that you put into your computer. And I just upgraded memory on 2 machines. And apparently the memory prices, I guess it's really tough to sell memory now or something. I don't know. They declined 5.4% to 261 yen, which is their lowest since March of 2009. So I don't know. I think it's time we need to go buy some memory or something. Because if they go to a low, they're going to raise their prices, and then it's going to get harder to buy memory. And then you're going to need memory, and what are you going to do? I don't know. Check it out. Let me know. Once again, Twitter me at Geekazine. Of course, go over to businessweek.com for that article. Going back over to cnet.com, asia.cnet.com. We got the rumor. Let's get into the rumors. I always forget about this. Let's do this. All right, the rumors, and I'm still having some blurring issues. I'm going to have to fix that or something. I don't know. Every time I turn my head to the side, maybe it's this screen. I don't know. Anyway, the new next iPhone introducing a 19-pin dock connector. So, ladies and gentlemen, your docks, your pin docks, they're pretty much going to be done. You're going to send them off to Goodwill or something like that. Your new iPhone will not take the same 30-pin connector, which is kind of understandable. So I know they're talking about the new adapter. Of course, this is all rumor. They could just turn around and say, yeah, no, well, let's just take that 30-pin connector and take out 11 pins and make them not useful or something. I don't know if they can do that. But there's been a lot of strong cases of the fact that the 19-pin dock connector is going to be the new connector. So I'd take it for what it's worth. We'll know once the new iPhone, which is going to actually, once again, is called iPhone 6, is coming out. It's just funny. It's like everybody's saying iPhone 5, iPhone 5. Well, no, iPhone 5 was the 4S. Yeah, okay, it was an extended 4, but it's the 6th generation iPhone, and it's going to be called iPhone, no matter what. It's 6th gen iPhone. Now, I had a discussion with my friends over at Graphite, Apple specialists. They said, yeah, that's going to suck because we're not going to know the version. I said, well, what version of Vizio TV do you have up on your wall? What version of those headphones that you have sitting on that table? What version is those? It doesn't really matter. In the end, your Apple TV might be the 6th revision of the Apple TV. The iPod Touch, yeah, you had revisions of the iPod Touch and stuff like that, but in all reality, it really doesn't matter. You just know it's an iPhone. You know it's an iPhone, you know it's a couple years old, it's time to upgrade your iPhone to a new iPhone. That's how it works. I don't know, what do you think? Let me know. Twitter me, Geekazine, right there. And we'll go from there. All right, let's go over to Engadget.com, Netgear Wi-Fi booster. Pretty cool stuff. It's basically a booster repeater, whatever you want to call it. And what it does is it attaches to your Wi-Fi, and it boosts the range. So let's say your Wi-Fi is in this room right here, and your porch is way over on the south manor of the mansion. Well, now you can get a booster for only $40 for the booster too. So that's pretty cool, and you'll be able to boost up your Wi-Fi, and then you won't have any blank, dark, brown spots, whatever you want to call it, with your internet, and that's pretty cool. So, anyway, check that out. It's over at Engadget.com. Moving over to Computer World, NTP has announced a patent settlement with 13 tech firms, including RIM. This was if you've heard about this story, basically RIM was being sued for 13 different patents from this company called NTP. And they basically now they've settled with them, and they're settled with a whole bunch of other ones like Sprint, T-Mobile, HTC, Palm, LG, Samsung, Yahoo. Apparently, they had a patent back over 10 years ago. 6 different patents. Or I'm sorry, is it 6 different patents? I think it was. Yeah, 6 different patents that basically they can now collect on, which is really sad. I mean, once again, these are patents like how to push a power button, how to transmit video to the screen, to a smartphone screen, or something like that. I don't know all the patents that they have on there, but they have all these patents, and now they're going to be making big money off of this. And I think that they're trolls. I really do. From what I've read, they're just nothing but trolls. And I don't understand how companies like this can go into existence, but it happens. That's the legal system. I think the best thing in the world to do is just sit there and start figuring out patents that you can do. Like I said, I remember back in the 80s, I remember a guy that actually patented tires. I think they were radial tires because nobody had a patent on them. I don't know. Computerworld.com. What do you think? Let me know. Geekazine is the Twitter handle. And, of course, geekazine@gmail.com. Moving over to CNN.com, Skype, there was the new version of Skype. A lot of people noticed that there was a way for Skype to actually have conversations, have video calls poured over to their servers so they could be the silent third person on a Skype call. And a lot of people are saying, ooh, wiretap. But, in all reality, besides some of the secrets that I talk about with my clients and stuff like that, things that you don't know about. What are they going to lose? What are you going to lose by having them listen in? And I think if you had a pro account, if you paid top dollar for that Skype account, you better not be getting wiretapped. But if you got a free account, anybody can listen in. I've always expected that. Any free account, somebody might be listening in. Somebody might be looking in on you every now and then. So, do they do wiretap calls? It's never said yes or no, but it is a possibility. The probability, high or low, that's the difference on this. So, I don't know. Is this going to cause you to stop using Skype to grandma? You know, they find out that grandma's now 98, it's her birthday. Happy birthday, grandma. I don't know. Let me know what you think about it by, once again, geekazine@gmail.com. Moving over there, we're going over to Wired.com. VMware has paid $1.26 billion on a company that's only 6 months old. Now, I think the name of the company is called Nicira. Nicira is how you pronounce it. They came on the scene about 6 months ago, a lot of virtualization, and VMware said, we got to have this. And it kind of sounds like they had an opportunity to buy it back then for a lot lower price. But, 6 months later, they decided, well, okay, let's purchase it. $1.26 billion in cash. What does this mean? This means that VMware might be stepping their game up more. I don't know if it's going to be more in a business sense or in a consumer sense. We'll keep following it as we go. But in the meantime, if you want to check it out, go over to Wired.com. Finally, last article on the Tech Smack. I know we went a little bit long, but there was a lot of tech articles here over on Tech Smack. We're over at eweek.com. Google Nexus 7 they believe, is starting to kill the Kindle Fire, and what Kindle Fire might be doing to counter that. Now, there's a big analysis that said the Kindle Fire sold well during the holiday season, but kind of fell off the face of the earth. They've got some great incentives with Kindle Fire. And in fact, up until this point, I was thinking to myself, if I was going to buy an Android tablet, it would be a Kindle Fire, simply because of the fact I have Amazon Prime. And I can get all these books that I can read, so I can start reading. At least I think I magically will start reading. I don't know. But anyway, if I'll be able to reference books and stuff like that just by checking them out like I would at a library, which is pretty cool. Now, Google Nexus 7 comes out, and of course Google has kind of done the thing with books, and that has come and gone, but it could come back. They could have a bunch of other incentives. Plus, the Nexus 7 is a lot more powerful than a Kindle Fire. And in fact, I think it's got the Tegra 3 processor in there, runs four cores. Now, Kindle, the rumor mill basically says that Kindle's going to come out with different flavors of Kindle once again. Come the holiday season. So about October, we'll see the new sets of Kindles out there. We might see a 4-core Kindle for about $300. So and that's the other thing, is price is not being a factor here. I mean, Kindle, $199. Nexus 7, $250. So I don't know. You make the call. What do you think? Would you buy a Kindle, or are you going to buy a Nexus 7, or what are you going to buy? Let me know. You can contact me once again at Geekazine. Geekazine@gmail.com, or 608-205-4378 is the phone number. All right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, that was a longer Tech Smack, but we're going to have a shorter Geek Smack. And then, of course, we're going to talk about the shooting and getting guns and getting ammunition online, and if it should be banned. And we'll be doing that later. But first of all, we will be right back with your Geek Smack.
Geek Smack.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, Geek Smack is brought to you this week by our friends over at Roku. Stop dreaming, start streaming. Get yourself a Roku as little as $50. And of course, you can also get 25% off refurbished Roku players. So if you don't want to pay the $100 for the Roku, you can get it for a lot cheaper. And that's over at Roku.com. Of course, you can go over to Geekazine.com/Roku, and that will get you That'll help Geekazine's light stay on. And of course, we're giving away a Roku. You can get yourself a Roku XS. Here's how you do it. This is how you do it. All you have to do is go to Geekazine.com. Find the post, the Geek Smack post. Geek Smack, basically, the name of the title. Let me go over here. The name of the title is, what did I call the name of the title? Basically, it says, Win a Roku 2 XS. Also, should we worry about getting guns through the internet? You find that post, you open that post, you go to the comment section, and you comment. That's it. I then approve your comment. Of course, you might not see it right away. I'll approve the comment, and it'll be on there. That's one way to enter for a Roku XS. Second way to enter, go over to YouTube. Go over to the comments. Find the video. Win a Roku XS. Also, should we worry about getting guns through the internet? Comment there. You can even video comment if you want, and I'll play those video comments. And we'll go from there. There's 2 videos out there. There's 2 posts out there because I talked about last week and I talked about this week. You can comment on last week's. You can comment on this week's. You can comment on last week's YouTube, this week's YouTube. And you can also tweet. All you have to do is tweet and you mention @Geekazine. That's me on Twitter, @Geekazine right there. And then, of course, the hashtag GS. That's simple, 2 words. The #GS. That's the hashtag for that. So all you have to do, you have 5 opportunities to enter to win. And, of course, we will be drawing next week. So try and get your entries by Friday so we can draw for a winner on Tuesday's show, next week's show. And that's all through Roku. Once again, go over to geekazine.com/Roku to get yourself a Roku over-the-top television device. All right, where were we? And now let's get into your Geek Smack for the week. We're going to start over at PC World. Canon has announced what's called a mirrorless camera. So basically, it's interchangeable camera, lens camera, that you can change out the lenses, of course, and it's not going to have a mirror in front of the camera face. So you'll be able to take pictures without that millisecond that the mirror has to fly up and then fly back down. And that's pretty cool. Apparently, the name of the camera is called the EOS M. It's an 18 megapixel camera with a sensor and Digic 5 image processor, which was found on their DSLRs. And, of course, interchangeable lenses. You'll have a flash on top, so on and so forth. I don't think they have prices on this just yet, but check it out. They've got it's pretty cool. I don't know. I'll take a look at it. I'll talk to my Canon reps, see if I can get a review model to talk about on the special media feed. And, of course, that's over at PCWorld.com is the article we talked about. All right, going over to Slash Gear, Hulu has a new video player that they launched over the last 24 hours. It's got a friendlier look, and, of course, it's more HTML5 compliant. So you'll be able to do different things like go full screen a little bit faster, a little bit easier, so on and so forth. So if you want to check that out, go over to Hulu Plus /gear.com for this article. Moving from there, we're going over to Geekaloogie. Geekaloogie. Of course, if you watched The Dark Knight Rises, you got to see the Man of Steel teaser trailer, which I was extremely not impressed with. I'm impressed with the actors in there, and I think it's going to be a pretty decent movie. But, and of course, Russell Crowe, Kevin Costner, big ones. They had 2 versions of it, apparently. One where Russell Crowe did the narrating, and then one where Kevin Costner did the narrating. So, pretty interesting stuff. Both of them teaser trailers, talking. It kind of was like through Dad's eyes of how Superman was. So, if that's the case, if that's how the movie is going, then I don't know. That might be worth really watching. In the meantime, if you want to check it out, it is a reboot, just so you know. And a lot of people are really starting to think about reboots. And it's like, do I really want to go again to a reboot? I still haven't seen Spider-Man yet because of the reboot. I don't know. What do you think? Let me know. You can Twitter me, Geekazine, and, of course, geekazine@gmail.com. Moving over to my website, Dorkazine. You remember Dorkazine, right? Of course, I kind of rebooted Dorkazine, and it's really started to get some posts on there. And once again, I'm looking for writers for Dorkazine as well. This one, we're talking about the iPhone case stun gun, 650,000 volts to a perpetrator. if you're being attacked. And the whole idea is the guy that decided to put it. And first of all, it's not a Kickstarter. It's a what's the name of the company? There are other websites other than Kickstarter out there, and of course this is one of them. iGogo or something like that. I think. Let me see where it is. Indiegogo. That's right. Excuse me. So the website Indiegogo.com. You can check this out. He apparently made his funding, and they're going a little bit above that for, I think it's $150. You can get this. It's a bigger case. So it's about, it pretty much turns your iPhone thickness twice as much, but 650,000 volts. So if you have a perpetrator coming after you, you easily flip that lever and you've got the stun gun. Now they basically say that your phone is in your hand more than your keys, more than mace for that matter, because the mace could be deep in a purse. Your keys could be in your car at that time, in the door lock when somebody tries to attack you. But most of the time, your phone is in your hand. So pretty interesting stuff. Of course, I linked to Dorkazine for that if you want to check out more. Moving from there, we're going over to Fox News. Of course, Amelia Earhart is 115 years old, so happy birthday to Amelia Earhart. They tried to find the plane that, the iconic plane that took the trip. They did the search, they couldn't find it, and so now they're calling off the search, pretty much calling it lost, dead at sea, whatever you want to call it. They tried and it didn't work. Maybe someday we'll find the plane. If it's buried deep underneath the sea, it's possible that plane could be completely eroded by now and just nothing but a bunch of dust. Some little clues might show up to show, hey, there she is. But in the meantime, if you want to read more about this, go over to foxnews.com. Excuse me. Another thing that happened, of course, this week was Sally Ride, the first female astronaut that went into space, has passed away from cancer. She was 61. So condolences and thoughts and memories go to Sally Ride. Of course, I did interview a female NASA member about a couple months ago when I went to Boise, Idaho, and that was pretty cool. And it's amazing. Any astronaut, male or female, going up to space, putting all that tremendous stress on your body to try and figure out what's out there. And so that's big. So check it out. They've got a whole photo gallery over at CNN.com. Moving from there, we're going over to Time.com. Innovation on a bankrupted Lego, almost bankrupted Lego. Basically, it's a history. They talked about it over at Time.com and how 56 years ago the first plastic molding machine that was bought in Denmark to make Legos almost didn't happen. So really cool stuff for all you Lego geeks out there. This is a must-read, so check that out over at Time.com. And that does bring us to the end of the Geek section of Geek Smack. What'd you think? Did you like it? Did you not like it? Let me know. Twitter's Geekazine. I always do that backwards. Twitter's Geekazine. Geekazine@gmail.com. And, of course, the hotline, 608-205-4378. You can call me. You can call me Al if you want to. But don't call me late for dinner because I make my own dinner and I know when it's time for dinner. So don't even try it. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to get into the main topic. We're going to talk about guns. And we're going to talk about should we be easily accessible or anything related to armory, easily accessible to use, to purchase on the internet. We're going to talk about that in a minute. We'll be right back. Of course, the show is brought to you by our friends over at Stitcher. Go over to Stitcher.com/geek. You can have a chance to win yourself a $100 cash card. And, of course, you can listen to the show over on your mobile device, your iOS device, your Android device, your BlackBerry, your WebOS. Windows Phone, please, coming soon. Please, they say it. They keep saying it. But, now that I got a Windows Phone, I really want Stitcher. I can't listen to podcasts on the other device, on the other programs. It's just archaic. I want Stitcher so bad on Windows Phone. Hopefully they'll heed that call and do that. But in the meantime, you can get it on your device, even an iPad, or you can also listen to it on your computer, which is what I do every now and then, because then I can call up my favorite stations. Once the episode of the podcast is done, the next episode on your favorites list starts to play, and that's what I love about that about Stitcher. So check it out, Stitcher Internet Radio. Go over to stitcher.com/geek, enter in your email address, and you could win yourself $100. They draw at the end of each month, so the end of the month's coming very soon. So get in there and get that done. All right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, let's talk about our main topic for the week, and that is, I didn't cue it up right, sorry. And that's basically about what's going on in Aurora, Colorado. Now, first of all, James Holmes had to go to some brick and mortar shops for guns. He needed it for that background check. You cannot get a background check online. It's just not possible. You've got to go to a mom and pop shop and say, hey, I want to get myself a firearms license, so I need a background check. So ultimately, Holmes went to the internet to buy things like the vest, like rounds of ammunition, and knives and magazine holders, all that other stuff. But there's no mention on purchasing guns. You can purchase guns online. There's a few. I looked up a few different sites that you can purchase a gun online. There's no mention in the report that he did that. One report said that he went from a Glock all the way up to an AR-15 rifle. And I don't know if he was doing that through trades or anything like that, but we don't know where he got that. And we definitely don't know where he got the explosives, because the police aren't going to tell us that. They're not going to say, okay, the next mass murderer, here's where you can get the explosives. No, it's just not going to happen. So they left that information out, but it can be easily attainable. And it might be easier than you think. I mean, you can't go to, well, I don't know, there's possible you could go to Craigslist to get it. But the reality is, for the most part, you can't go to Craigslist to get it. You can't go to eBay to get it. Once they find that somebody's thrown up explosives on plastic explosives on eBay, it's gonna the auction's gonna go down in a heartbeat. But you'll have the contact information. You'll kind of know where that's coming from, and that's kind of the scary thing on this. Now, the only item that would come to question was the vest, and because violent felons cannot order vests, protective gear. But, I can get protective gear. I can make protective gear. I mean, look at Mythbusters. They talk about how you can, different things that you can put to make a vest. So, I mean, it's not going to be great. I mean, it was a telephone book didn't really work that well. But you probably have like a big old suit that, I'm walking around in this big old suit, and I made it myself. But, you could take some pieces of steel and put it on, make a makeshift vest, even if it doesn't really stop a bullet. How many people will have a gun in a theater, especially a theater that basically probably says no firearms, no weapons of any kind are allowed in our theater? So everybody was pretty much weaponless for the attack. I don't know. Let's flip this coin. Now, I know many people that do have guns. I know a few that have high-powered guns. I never broke a sweat when I was in their houses. They know what they're doing. They know how to take care of their guns. Guns are always behind protective cases. Guns always have locks on them. Bullets are always in a separate drawer, locked away. So I'm never going to flip out when I go to a friend's house, especially a friend that I know has a lot of weapons, because I do know friends that collect guns, that collect ammunition. They shoot the guns on a regular basis, and it doesn't bother me. And I know, with that knowledge, I know how to get a pistol, and sometimes I know how to get a pistol from under the radar. It's very possible. I'm not going to do it, because why would I? I mean, that's kind of stupid. Will I own a gun someday? It's a possibility. I don't foresee it in the future. I've shot guns before, and I go out to the gun range and shoot them. Yeah, I'll go out to the driving range and shoot them. Either way. But I go out to the gun range and I will shoot a gun, because I want to feel a little bit more comfortable. If I have to grab a gun and make an important decision, that I can do it. Now, some say that there should be more warning flags when it comes to purchase $3,000 worth of equipment, vests and knives and stuff like that online, and I kind of agree on that. A national database should be set up that could flag is not just a bad idea. And it really makes a lot of sense. Because then we can go back and say, hey, this guy just spent $3,000 over 3 months. Maybe we should go over to his apartment and find out what's going on. That way, those of us who actually purchase on a legal expense, because it does, 3,000 bullets, you could waste that in a gun range in one day. And so it'd make people like us who actually purchase ammunition and go to a gun range and do that feel a little bit safer that we can do that and not have somebody knocking at our door saying, we need you to come in and talk about your weapon use. I don't know. What do you think? Do you think guns should be completely banned? Do you think that we shouldn't sell anything over the internet when it comes to weapon related? Should we have a better database? I hope that that's your answer, because we should have a better database that will flag once it sees people doing strange things like that. Not that it's not really strange. It's more, all of a sudden he's buying $3,000 worth of equipment. Wait a minute, that's not right. I don't know. Let me know. Geekazine is the Twitter handle. Geekazine@gmail.com is the email address, and of course 608-205-4378. All right, we went just a touch bit long. We're at the 41-minute mark, so I'm going to let you go. Thank you very much for watching the show. If you have any questions, once again, this is how you contact me. We do have the QR code if you want to scan it in, throw it in your mobile device, and get that website so you can contact me. We also have the contact on the top of the page, which a lot of people have been using more often than not. So, all right, my name is Jeffrey Powers. Thanks a lot for watching. Thanks a lot for listening over on the audio version. We will be back next week, and we'll be giving away a Roku 2 XS streaming media player next week. So check that out. Thanks a lot for watching. Thanks a lot for listening. We will see you next week. And until then, you guys, geek out.